All right, we are here with the 2024 Subaru Solterra, which is basically just the Toyota Bz4X, which is also basically just the Lexus RZ. And I don't mean that in a demeaning way at all, okay? I'm not interchanging them, but this is very obviously, as we kind of go through this tour with both of our perspectives, this is very obviously the Toyota BZ with just a Subaru badge slapped on it. So no shade towards Subaru and no shade towards Toyota.
Are all
this
Subarus
is
just Toyotas or just
no. They're
Oh.
not like Subaru and Toyota do some partnerships. Probably
okay.
the
So
other
this is
most
just
famous
a-
one is the GR86, which is the Toyota version, and the Subaru BRZ, which is the Subaru version. And in that partnership, it's basically just the BRZ, and Toyota puts their stuff on it, tweaks
Oh,
things a little
okay.
bit. So here,
Little
this
give and
one
take.
is, Toyota giving Subaru an EV.
And
Now,
Subaru taking.
as we go through this, we're going to have kind of two perspectives on whether or not you should get this vehicle, because I am, in fact, heavily interested in buying one of these. And if you've watched this channel, you might be like, what in the bleepity bleep, we don't want to get demonetized, are
we don't use that
you
kind of language.
thinking? And I'll explain as we go. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the styling because there's some pros and cons here. We both have, I would say sort of it's fair to say, what a love-hate relationship with the styling. Now, you're not a fan of the front end. I don't mind the front end all that much. I don't think it's like the best looking thing ever, but I don't think it's super good looking. The Nissan Ariya, and I like the Ioniqs. You don't like the Ioniqs, but I prefer the kind of styling of the Ioniqs. I think that they went really inoffensive here. Now, one thing that I don't love.
That front grille
Okay,
area
maybe
is
you're
offensive to
offended
me.
by it. One thing
am.
that I don't personally love is both in the Toyota and the Subaru version, they do this kind of like overly plastified kind of fender thing. And it goes beyond just the fender liners that you see on EVs, and they kind of like exaggerate it a bit too much. I'm not really sure what they were going for there. I think it's kind of ridiculous looking. Is it going to prevent me from getting the car? I wouldn't say it's going to prevent me from getting the car. I mean, I just said a second ago that I am actually looking at this. I just don't really understand it. I don't really understand what the intention was. Now, as both of us have said, or will say, because you're going to go next, the back end looks fine.
Well, don't tell him what I'm going to say.
Well,
you can't give the surprise away.
Okay. Well, you're going to provide more detail because I don't usually do a lot of the styling stuff since you're more opinionated about the styling anyway. But I think the back end, it looks fine in a conservative kind of way. If you want to think of it, this is kind of like a RAV4-ish sized vehicle with RAV4-ish sort of styling cues. So you look at the Subaru Forester, which has moved in a different direction, and you really like the way the Subaru Forester looks. And then you look at the RAV4, which I also really like the way the RAV4 looks. I think for an older kind of SUV at this point, it's been around for a few years, still looks great. And I think the BZ and the Solterra are kind of going in that direction. So safe, inoffensive, but just a few weird design choices. Is that going to be your cup of tea? Well, I think the value equation we're going to talk about in a little bit is what really will put you over the hill.
So, Subaru Solterra. Every time I say it, I don't know if I should say it, but
What do you mean you don't know if you should?
Well, because half the time you're like, we already said that. You don't need to introduce it, and then sometimes I say.
Well, you just have a habit of introducing the car literally every time I turn the camera.
Well, because when I don't, I feel like then you're like, why didn't you tell? What kind of car are we driving?
The vertical.
I know, but I can't remember. So, there are parts to the exterior that I like and parts that I do not like. The front end, I do not like. Like that, where the grill should be, like it needs a grill.
Well,
like I know it doesn't need a grill because
right.
it's an EV. Like it doesn't really need a grill, but like it needs a grill visually. That looks weird. That looks like we removed the grill and we just put this piece in like to hold the like a placeholder.
Okay.
Like in math.
I mean, I could see that. Oh God, did you just make a math joke?
I did. So I don't like that. And I feel like they like noticed that, and that's what they're like, let's put the Subaru badge down there on the placeholder and make it look better, but like it doesn't look better.
I'm pretty sure in the BZ it's more solid.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. I mean, maybe if it was black or something, like make it black and put some like ripples in it, or like
ripples.
What was like? So it looks like some little blue. So it looks like a grill. What was that car? We had a car that had a grill that looked like a grill, and I said I like the grill, and you said it's not a grill.
Oh.
Because it was an EV.
I don't know.
Yep. This giant piece of plastic, that's hideous.
Yeah.
Like that's wild. Why do we have that?
That's their thing. The BZ and this have it.
I don't like that at all.
You have to upgrade to
and
the
then
Lexus.
the fact that this little door is like half plastic, like it's ugly. This is ugly. I don't like that at all. The wheels are just like Subaru wheels. The side though, I don't mind like the side shape and stuff.
Yeah, the profile.
I don't mind it at all. And the little plastic back here, I don't love, but it doesn't like offend me like the front end does. I think it's the way it wraps around the front end that I really don't like. And I like the back end. I think the back end looks pretty cool. So this doesn't bother me at all. Do you want to see what the
What did you do?
I pressed a button.
Do you have the key?
No.
Oh, there we go.
Give me a minute. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. That was better. All right, let's see what kind of cargo space. I mean, is it big? It's not very big.
It's not huge, but it's pretty good.
It's not
for,
huge. It's decent.
Yeah,
I mean, you could fit
cubic feet.
what you need back here, but it's not. Is it like what's all over your back? Is it like good for
that
the
girl spilled on it at the volleyball tournament?
Ooh.
Remember?
Yeah, and you never cleaned it?
No.
Is it big for its class?
It's decent size, honestly.
Yeah?
I mean, 30 cubic feet in the back's not bad.
Okay. I mean, it's not bad. I like the mat. Do they all come with the mat?
Well, I mean,
Ella's
I
RAV4
was
came
about
with
to
that.
say, yeah,
Yeah.
It's just like the all-season
Yeah,
mat,
it's pretty nice, and I do like the
which I feel like we use that
this
more than I
guy.
would have thought.
what her all-season mat.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
like
do.
I wouldn't have thought to get that, but we actually like it.
But like, why wouldn't you have it? I
Well,
feel like
'cause it
there's
would just
never a
be
time.
carpeted. It looks nicer when it's carpeted.
Oh, but like function. I don't know. It's functional.
Yeah.
Oh, it's weird to me that that middle seat is blue.
Where? Oh, the headrest. Oh, I didn't even notice that.
That looks really weird. I
Oh,
dislike.
that is
See
weird.
it? Yeah, that's weird. All right, you want to see what the interior looks like? Because
Sure.
I got some things to say about that.
Uh-oh. Yikes. All right, so let's get to what, unfortunately, when you're talking about the Toyota Bz or the Subaru Solterra, is kind of the weakest part of the EV, and that's sort of its functionality as an EV. In a world where a lot of people...
Bad.
I know, it doesn't
The
sound
worst
good.
part of the EV
but
is how it
stick with
functions
me.
as an EV.
I know, stick with me. Don't forget that I said I very much might get one of these, so stick around, I'll explain why. In this form, in limited trim, the limited trim in the Subaru version gets like kind of the shortest range because you have all-wheel drive and you have all the limited trim options. So you're adding a little bit of weight, you're adding all-wheel drive complexity, so you're only getting about 220 miles of total range. Now, one of the downsides that I've seen is that this platform, okay, I had the Lexus RZ a couple months ago. You can go check out that video. I'll put it in the description. This platform seems to be very affected by temperature, all right? So we're here in Atlanta. It is blazing hot this week, and I've noticed that it never read that I was gonna get 220 miles because it was probably too hot and less than ideal conditions. When I had the Lexus RZ, it was chilly, a little cold, kind of like end of winter going into spring, and it's massively affected by having to run the heater and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind, that your already kind of not so great range is going to be maybe even less great, when you're blasting AC, or especially if you're running any kind of heater. Now, the AC and the cooled seats work very well, so you're gonna be comfortable. You just wanna keep an eye on the range. Now, under the hood, like many non-Tesla SUVs, and Ford, shout out Ford for doing this, under the hood, you get nothing. You just get a motor like you do in lots of others. So the batteries are probably somewhere tucked underneath. I don't think it's a skateboard platform, but they're underneath the car. And you got motor up here and motor in the back, all right? Now, let's talk a little bit, come over here, about the charging speed. One thing I want to point out is that there is something wrong with this car, and it's a press car, so I always say they lead hard lives, so I'm not going to ding it for this. But it is continually reading that the charge door is open and not closed, even though it most decidedly is. And the plastic in here looks like someone has been punching it repeatedly. So whoever had this car, you know, in the previous months, take it easy on the press cars, all right? Recharge speed is not great. This has 100 kilowatts of potential recharge on a DC fast charger, which makes it one of the worst, all right, in the sort of EV space. That means that theoretically, according to Subaru and Toyota, you can recharge this, I think, from 10 to 80% in 35 to minutes or so. But I did a little digging and I found that some people are reporting that's not super realistic. It's taking closer to 45 minutes, which was the old, this is an update for 2024. The old 2023 took the 45 minutes or longer. That's not good when you consider that the Ioniq 5 and Ioniq 6 can do the same recharge in 18 minutes.
Oh.
So that's rough.
Quite
all
a
right.
difference.
Now, maybe Toyota is being conservative here for battery preservation. I don't know. It just feels like a big miss, okay, that this thing does not have great range, and then you couple that with not so good recharge speed, and really loud planes flying overhead. I feel like this happens like once a video where we're like in some kind of flight path. So that's kind of a double whammy, all right? But stick with me because I'm going to explain why. Why would I be interested in getting one of these?
All right, I'm driving the Subaru Solterra. Is this 2024?
It is.
Okay. Now, normally I've driven a car a few times over the week when we do reviews. This is my first drive.
I was about to say,
So,
this is unique.
Yes, because we've both been very busy this week. So he's been driving the car and I have been doing other things. And you're getting a first look at my first impressions of
This is
the
the first time you've sat in that seat.
Yeah, I've sat in the back.
Yeah.
So first thing I noticed is the steering wheel is a squircle.
It is.
Is that a thing? Like people do squircles?
Apparently.
Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, I don't hate it, but it's just kind of weird. Also, I cannot see what is this? The dash? The gauge cluster? I mean, I can, but it's like the steering wheel is just the right height that it's like in the way. And I tried to move it out of the way, but then it gets like too low and then I can't, it's like in my lap, it's like way down in my lap and that feels weird, and too high. I don't know. I think the placement's kind of weird. Did you notice that or no? Because you're weirdly tall.
No, it is weird for
Like,
me
I mean,
too.
if I sit up like this, like stick straight, then I can do it. So like maybe if I move the seat a little bit, but
well, it's weird relative.
like there,
to
if I'm sitting like that, like
yeah,
perfectly up and down, I can see it good. But otherwise, it's like
this is not super comfortable.
yeah, this isn't really how I would probably drive. But I also couldn't figure out how to put it in reverse for a hot minute.
Yeah.
It says push, but I was pushing. There's like this black thing in the middle, looks like a button. And I was pushing that, but you push the rim. Anyway, I don't like it. Like, can we just have like buttons that say reverse, park, drive, whatever?
Everybody's got to be
Now,
different.
it does drive well so far. You said it's not very powerful. It's not like what was that car we had? The BMW.
Oh yeah, we just got out of the BMW i5.
So it's a little different than that.
Yeah.
But I mean, like that was a very smooth start. I feel like it drives really well. It brakes really well. Like when I was braking back there, I don't feel any, like it's not jerky. The brakes aren't jerky or anything. Can you do like the one pedal drive or something in this thing?
Nope.
Is that weird for an EV?
I mean, for you don't mind.
I don't
'Cause you
mind.
like
I don't
it.
like it, but you like it, don't you?
Yeah, I wish it had the option.
Okay. But it's a very smooth drive. I don't mind it at all. Do you? The seat's comfortable.
No, the actual driving is great.
Yeah. The drive is great. The seat's very comfortable.
Yeah.
The steering wheel, I just don't like the shape. Like it feels fine. It's kind of eh.
I think the Toyota version is normal.
Oh, it's not a Squircle?
Yeah.
I do like the name Squircle though.
Yeah.
It's kind of a
You
fun
know what
little-
other Corvette has a what other car has a Squircle? It's
a
the
Corvette. You
yeah.
just gave it away.
I know.
And
Can't
then
redo
now
that.
once I figured out how to put the car in drive, it's fine. Also, when you reverse, it beeps very loudly in here. Like it's very aggressive. What if you had like a really long driveway and you were reversing down the really long driveway? I think it would be very annoying.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
Like for real, like it would be like if we're at your parents' lake house, they have like a pretty long driveway. That would be super annoying. But like the people outside need to know I'm reversing. Why
Well,
is
it does beep outside.
Yeah, right. But so like, why does it beep in here?
I don't know.
It's not necessary.
It seems very redundant.
It is not necessary.
Plus, it's Toyota's open door chime, and so it's just like
Yeah, it sounds like something's wrong.
Yeah, it
like,
sounds like something's wrong.
Yeah, which I don't like.
Which we know because we have a Toyota RAV4, so it's like the same.
We
thing.
do.
Yeah.
We do. So yeah, you're right. It is the same tune, the same tone, the same.
tune.
I don't know.
We're gonna rock out to it. Make a little rap.
Did you ever stop talking? No, you don't.
I'm the host of a show.
Anything else? I'm the host of the show.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't really have anything else to say about it. Do you?
Well, I mean,
it rides well, it drives well. So like the things that you want it to do well, it does well. There are definitely things I don't love about it, but you don't want me to talk about interior yet.
No, we'll get to that in a second.
So we'll get to that. Steering wheel's not my favorite. The dash, the gauge cluster is, I don't know, at a weird level. Or the steering wheel's, the combo of the two is weird. It dings too loud when you go, and I don't like the gear shift.
Yeah, you're just
But, like-
recapping forever.
Yeah. I'm just kind of going back and thinking it all over. But I do like the way it drives. It's very smooth. It's a little rocky.
Well, yeah,
little-
it's pretty soft.
Yeah, it's a little floaty.
But we're on the terrible road right now.
Right, but we've driven some cars that weren't. I don't mind a floaty drive. I usually prefer that to like but this is a bit much.
Yeah. Well, sometimes EVs ride
Can you
like
adjust
this.
it all or no?
No, but it's because they tend to be heavy
Because
because
of
the
the battery.
batteries. And so the damping tends to be soft.
Now, where can you drive this? What's the range?
This one,
Yeah.
the fully loaded ones have a shorter range.
Is this one fully loaded?
Well, we've said the range earlier.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I just don't remember it.
not very far. It's like 220 miles.
That's not very good. Yeah, it's very floaty.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that doesn't bother you more.
Over this road it does.
Okay.
It doesn't.
But, it doesn't do this on normal roads?
No, and like stop and go and on the highway it's like very
Okay.
smooth.
This just seems a bit much. But so is this is the fully loaded one?
Yes.
Okay. Why is the range less on the fully loaded?
Because heavier.
Why?
Because it has more stuff.
The stuff makes it that much heavier?
Yeah, it adds weight every little bit in the EV.
Every little bit.
Oh my gosh. Are you quite done?
Yeah, I'm done. Okay, so I made Jack film me again because I didn't know that, but there's like regen.
Just
Okay.
say regen.
Regen braking. Like, what is wrong with me? Where it like recaptures some of the energy as you're braking. So, because I was driving and I was like, why do I feel like this car is just driving itself? And because my foot is off the gas and it's like braking for me as I was like going down a hill and stuff.
I think we're good on the explanation.
But like it
regen
feels
braking.
okay. But normally I do not like regen braking because normally it feels real like
Right.
I don't know. I don't like it. It's pretty smooth.
Well, this is
It
more
wasn't
like a
too bad
hybrid.
at all. Yeah, but I like it. I don't mind a little bit of that, but it doesn't bother me at all. And you were telling me that people, I asked at night, do the brake lights come on when that's happening? And you said yes, and that Toyota or Subaru or whatever puts the little,
Well, it's Toyota.
there's two little red lines up here, like on either side up in your gauge cluster, so that you know, like just to reassure you that the brake lights are on. I thought that was pretty smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So normally I don't love regen braking, but I don't mind it in this car. It's pretty
Well,
good.
this is more like a Toyota hybrid.
Yeah.
Like you think
Oh, like the way it
about
drives?
the way it drives is very much like a Toyota hybrid.
Yeah.
Like it reminds me a lot of the RAV4 hybrid.
Which is good, right?
Yeah. Toyota
Yeah.
knows their hybrids.
Anyway, I liked it. It's impressive.
Okay, so the enthusiast driving perspective, there is not a lot of enthusiasm to be had in this thing because this is meant to be a simple commuting vehicle, okay? Nothing fancy about that. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. There's actually some pros here. One
Sorry,
of them...
the network is currently busy. Please try again later.
What was that?
That was weird. I think they were trying to do an over-the-air update for some weird
Oh.
reason. So, back to what we were saying before we were interrupted by Toyota. You mentioned, like in your driving, that you find the suspension to be a little bit
Too
soft. Yeah, and I think that's fair over some of these suburban roads where you get some of those like undulations and stuff like that. It does get a little unsettled. It doesn't rock too bad, which is the thing that just always drives me crazy.
It just bounces.
But yeah, it's extremely floaty, and I think that's just the heavy battery pack and the not super dialed in suspension tuning. We know that it's possible because Hyundai's done it with the Ioniq 5N, and we just got out of the BMW i5 M60, which was phenomenal. But this thing, you know, it's not meant to sell at that price point. So it's a little bit soft. Also, this thing has 215 horsepower, I believe, and about 249, 250 pound-feet of torque, which is fine. And like all EVs, it makes instant torque, so it feels faster than it is, kind of in that 30 mile per hour range. So when I'm driving on my, now longer commute, it's great in stop and go traffic because if I see a gap, I can punch into it. But on the highway, this thing feels like a normal 200 horsepower car.
Yeah, because you drove it on the highway all week.
Yeah. It's not super fast. So if that doesn't appeal to you, then, just keep that in mind. This isn't one of those EVs that is like a sleeper and you pull up at the stoplight and you're like blowing people out of the water, with speed. Yeah, that was like the BMW.
Yeah.
So this is not like in that same vein. Another thing this doesn't have, and I know that I keep teasing the fact that I'm thinking about buying one of these, and then I sit around and go, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have this. But another thing it doesn't.
I think that accentuates
the value, right?
Yeah, value.
Yeah, like kind of what we're talking
things
about.
That you don't love about it, you're still
Absolutely.
interested in
It totally, completely changes the equation when you consider this from a value perspective, which we'll get to in a bit. So, one pedal driving? Nope, doesn't have it. I would also argue that there are a number of cars. Whoa, am I like totally blasted there by the
Yeah,
sun?
a little bit.
There are a number of cars that don't have true one-pedal driving. The one that sticks out to me big time is the Nissan Ariya. Do I look like crap right now? Is it just like white?
It has nothing to do with the sun, but
Well, I'm trying to determine if I need to stop or
no,
keep going.
it's all right.
Okay.
I mean, it's bright, but it's not
Okay.
like bad.
So the Nissan Ariya doesn't have one-pedal driving, but it's a really solid all-around EV. It's very comfortable too. It's a great EV to drive. So like, does this thing not having one pedal, is that a deal breaker? No. What bothers me is that even when you turn the region all the way up, it's like barely there. Like, is it doing something? Sure, but
I
it's...
disagree though.
Well, no, because you're very sensitive to that, because
Yes.
you really don't like regen.
No,
But
I felt like it was doing what it was supposed to be.
Right.
I could feel it.
But I like to drive in one-pedal driving. And so in a one-pedal driving car, if I were to remove my foot from the, let me check the mirrors. If I was to remove my foot from the accelerator, we would begin like feeling like we're braking. If I do that here, it's
I feel like you're
very
braking.
slow to do that. Whereas like, well, here's the thing. I have it turned all the way up. You had it turned all the way down.
Oh.
So on yours, you didn't mind it because you don't like that intrusiveness. But if you wanted to one-pedal drive or have max regen, this thing's not even close. All right. So again, not a deal breaker. It's just something to notice. Like, it just feels like a missed opportunity. I feel like that's kind of the thing about this car, is that there's just a lot of missed opportunities from the driving experience. Like, you don't get anything remotely close to one-pedal driving. The range is compromised, and stuff like that, so you can't take it on trips. Now, I do think that all the primary controls, the actual braking itself is very smooth. For considering this does have regen, this is where Toyota's expertise in regenerative braking, I just tripped over it like you did earlier, where Toyota's expertise in that really shines. Because whether it's turned all the way down or whether it's turned all the way up, when you come to a full stop, it's as smooth as a normal car. So I think you benefit
Smooth as
from...
butter.
Yeah, I think you benefit from Toyota's experience there. And like I said, forgive me, I keep saying Toyota because they designed this platform. It's based on TNGA Toyota architecture, so I'm not throwing shade at Subaru. It's just, this is a Toyota developed vehicle. So I really like that aspect of it. It's very easy to drive. And so when you consider the value that we're about to talk about, when you consider all of these options, when you consider the comfort, the space, and all of these things, it really starts to make a case for itself. The problem is it making a case for itself at its MSRP? No. But if you are not into driving, you're not a crazy enthusiast like me, and you just want a car that feels nice to drive, it's comfy, and you have plenty of room and are surrounded by options, this thing is really delivering. And I'll sort of end my driving portion with this. I said the same thing about the Lexus RZ. You can go check out that video. The Lexus RZ was a very pleasant vehicle to live with. It had all the positives of a Lexus. The interior materials were excellent. Like, everything in that kind of like Lexus vibe, like, it was all there. And the only downside was just the range and recharge speed. So at a certain point, you're like, but is it that big of a downside? And at what tipping point does the price tip you from heck no, no way to, well, now I'm interested? And I think that's where I am currently.
Okay, this is the interior. And
Of the what? I'm just kidding.
see, I like purposely was like, I'm not going to say it. This is the Squircle. I like the name. I like the word Squircle. It's fun to say, but like, I don't like this. It just looks kind of weird. I don't really get it. Like, making a circle.
Get the Squircle.
I don't get it. I don't understand. I also don't really understand this carpeting here.
The
Like,
carpeting.
It's literally like, look, that looks like a booster seat.
Yeah.
Any moms who've had a toddler, that literally looks like a booster seat right there. That's weird.
You know what it reminds me of?
A booster seat.
Our old house's Berber carpeting.
Yeah, kind of. But like a booster seat or Berber carpet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't love that. I don't mind that, like, we're like, hey, let's try different textures, but like that looks kind of weird. I don't really like it. I do like that the handle is closed.
Yeah.
You know how I love that. It actually looks like pretty functional cup holders down there.
It does. It has good storage. I
Yeah,
think.
so that's good. I don't love this cup holder here.
You don't like the shape of it.
Yeah, I don't like that it's like down deep because
Yeah.
like, look, my I have a Coke down here and it's like you can't even see it. So like when you're dry, you have to like reach your hand way down here to get it.
It's down bad at the gym.
It's crying down bad at the gym. Down bad crying at the gym.
Oh,
Not
sorry.
just down bad at the gym. Okay. It does fit the stand, but like with the things here, like there's my handle has to go into the other cup holder.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
You know what I
point.
mean? So it kind of,
Yeah.
you know. You've told me that this is a charge pad. I haven't used it yet.
Yeah.
Does it work pretty good?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
sucks.
so there's that. There's this that also sucks because
What does? Oh, the
this,
transmission.
because it literally says push, and so I was like pushing here because
Yeah.
that looks like a button to me, but you push the silver part around it. I don't
Yeah.
like that. Like, just stop doing that. I like the screen. It's
you
pretty
should
cool.
be on the like focus groups for transmission design.
I really is there a thing? Is that a thing?
It probably is somewhere.
Yeah, I should do it because
Yeah.
I would have a lot to say.
Toyota focus group.
Yeah, I would have a lot
Gear-
to say.
Yeah, gear selection.
A lot to say. But the seat is very comfortable.
Yeah.
The seat is very comfortable. I like the under pocket here. I know it's not called an under pocket,
Well,
but
the under storage. Yeah,
yeah, I love that.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
yeah, because I could fit like my little purse down here. If you had like a small purse or
Yeah,
something,
it's generous.
you can fit stuff down there. I like that. Was the passenger seat comfy?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's
no.
got the double. Is this a double sunroof?
It's yeah, double pano sunroof.
Huh. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I like that. I mean, it's very nice. Are there things I don't like about it? Yes. Is there anything that's like offensive in here? I mean, maybe the booster seat, but other than that,
Maybe some people like booster seats.
up in the dash,
Yeah, people like are cranking out kids.
I feel like we should put a disclaimer, like it's not actually a booster seat. Please do not put your child there.
Yeah.
That's my PSA.
Leave that to the car mom. She's got like 10 kids.
So there's that. This is kind of weird too. Like, what is that?
Well, that's where
Like
they,
this weird shape
yeah,
thing here?
I think they got a little carried away.
It's kind of weird. All right. Ooh, just beeped at me. Let's see what we got in the back. Okay. So back seat. We've got a couple functional cup holders here. We have the closed handle. Nice. We have some vents. Now, I was back here.
And heated seats too, right?
Yes, and heated seats.
Yeah.
I was back here, and the vents were not super aggressive.
Well, I turned them up.
I would like a more aggressive flow, but
In
I'm
auto
glad that there
mode,
are.
Yeah,
there
not
are
a lot
little.
of priority back there.
I know there are little chargers here, so that's lovely. We've got the middle cup holder. I don't mind the two-tone back here, but I do think it's weird. Can you see that? Like this is blue and these are gray. Like it's kind of weird to me that we went two-tone. Like, hey, let's make the whole middle seat different color.
They committed.
Yeah, they did commit. But the seats are comfy. This is very cushy back here. It's pretty spacious.
Well, and the room is good.
Well, yeah, and I do have, my bun is messing with the headroom, but I do have headroom back here. And it is comfy. I just,
Well, and you're 5'9".
yeah, and I'm 5'9", and this
that
is
seat
actually
motored back.
motored back. So I have
yeah.
a lot of space.
It's quite.
So space-wise, it's very spacious.
Yeah, no, I think this is pretty good for
Yeah,
space.
yeah.
You went ahead and started.
Yeah.
While I was doing that.
You have like a yellow circle on your head.
A yellow box.
No, like a circle.
A circle.
Like it looks like maybe a reflection or something.
Oh, turn slightly. It's probably the sun coming over the top of the car or something like that.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Is that better?
Mhm.
Okay, good.
I love
Um,
that you said a box. I'm a geometry teacher. I know the difference between a circle.
No, I
and a
meant the box like the focus box.
I would have called that a circle.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just checking. All right. Now, you are always the one that kind of talks about the materials and stuff on the inside. One thing I will point out though is that I'm impressed by the build quality in here. Like, I know that, Toyota, Subaru, Lexus, they're sharing this platform, and all of those companies are known for exceptional build quality. I mean, Subaru's recent interiors have been fantastic. This one's no different, and Toyotas are always, put together very well. But, like, it feels very solid. Like, the materials are great, and it feels solid. So I am impressed by that. Now, I'll leave it to what you said about the design and the textures. We'll go with if you're interested in that, that's covered in your part. But technology, because that's what I always talk about. The gauge cluster is dumb. All right, and let me tell you why. You are 5'9".
Correct.
I am almost 6'6". Now, as you can probably tell, I have a fabulous amount of room in the front seat of this car, and it's incredibly comfortable, and I have nothing bad to say about that. It is very nice and roomy for someone who is over 6'5". But it is ridiculous that both a 5'9" normal size person and a almost 6'6" extremely tall person, both of us have issues seeing the gauge cluster when the steering wheel is set to its respective position. That's just stupid. Like, I can't think of another car.
It's a squircle.
Well, the squircle. So here's the fun fact about that.
Flattens the top.
Yeah, but they did that because it used to be worse. It used to be
Oh.
actually worse because it was circular. So it takes a special kind of mess up for two people of vastly different heights to both have issues seeing the gauge cluster. So that is kind of inexcusably stupid. Now, the technology here, this is Toyota's infotainment system, just with Subaru kind of skin, badging on it. I love Toyota's infotainment system. It's one of just the simplest, most straightforward, most functional ones on the market currently. I got nothing bad to say about the infotainment and all the steering stuff. Now, Toyota and Subaru both are known for their safety as well. One thing that may or may not be apparent in the driving portion is that this has all of Toyota and Subaru's kind of safety systems. I think they're Toyotas, to be honest with you, but it has front cross traffic alert. Front cross traffic alert is great in theory, except when you are pulling up to a highway and the person in front of you goes, and then you pull forward because you have to pull forward because you're the next car in line, and it starts beeping at you. Don't pull out, there's cars coming. I know that there's cars coming, but I can't stay in the same spot. So maybe let's bake that in a little bit better. But other than that, this is a great place to be. It really is. Like, I have nothing bad to say about the interior. And when you factor in all of these options and all of this tech at the price that you can get it at used, now are you starting to see why I'm interested in this car? Because this is a lot of good stuff for the price of like a Corolla. Oh yeah, and on the topic of interior room, this is another area where the BZ, the Solterra, and the Lexus RZ are big winners. I am almost 6.5 feet tall. The seat is motored back. Okay, this is motored back. This is not necessarily where I would have it. And I've got about 1/2 inch of separation between my knees. And even with the dual sunroof, if I sit up straight, my head is touching the headliner, but like just my hair. And so I think this is pretty fantastic amount of space. The seat is cushy and I've got decent room under the front for my feet. So no complaints in the back seat. If you have a tall family like ours, you'll be fine. All right, so like I always say, should you buy the Subaru Solterra in touring trim for $54,000? Absolutely not, all right? Don't do that, but hold up, Subaru, don't get upset with me. Toyota, don't get upset with me. Should you buy this car at what the current market prices say? Now we're talking, okay? And I've been sort of teasing this whole video and mentioned it here and there, but I have been scouring, well, we're not endorsed by Auto Tempest, but they do a good job of collating results. I've been looking at Auto Tempest and looking all over the Southeast at BZs and Solterras. And I have found multiple front-wheel drive Bz4Xs limited, which is the same exact car with this fully loaded, every option for under 30. In fact, I have found 2 so far that one I'm looking at now is 27, and I saw one that looked like they were trying to offload it at 25. And these cars have, like, we're talking 10,000 miles. Like, they are obviously leases that have been turned in. At that price, guys, this becomes a very compelling EV. You are getting a fully loaded vehicle, power everything, upgraded audio. This has a Harman Kardon audio system, dual sunroof, heated and cooled seats, all of the good stuff. And you're getting that for 25, and you put in a trade-in, you're getting that under $20,000. You're walking out of the dealer 18, 19 grand for a fully loaded SUV. If this is not your only car and you're in the situation we're in, where we are, you know, a family of 4, well, Ella's off to college now, but like we're a family of 4 and we just need a car for us to drive and we have a car for road trips, suddenly this thing goes from being at the bottom of the heap to near the top of the heap in what you can get for your money. Now, does that excuse the range? No. Does it excuse the recharge speed? No. Does it excuse the ridiculous $54,000 MSRP? No. And please do not buy this car at that price. But if you see me rolling around in one in the next couple of weeks in videos, or you see it in the driveway, you'll know why. Because as a used car value, this thing makes a great case for itself.
So for the Megan wrap up,
Megan, wrap up. That's not even...
Megan moment. There's not a good M word.
Not even alliterative.
Well, it's bothering me, and so I just like threw it out the window and went the Megan wrap up.
Okay.
What about the wifey wrap up?
Oh, there you go.
That's kind of W's.
Sounds a little demeaning, though.
I was gonna say I am more than just a wife, though.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just was like a W, but
Girl power.
yeah. We'll go the Megan minute. I don't know.
That sounds like one of those 1950s ads. It's the wifey wrap up. What does wifey
I
think
know.
of
What
the
does wife
car?
have to say? Yeah, no, that's not happening. Exterior, like a 6.5.
I was wondering if you're gonna change there, but you went 6.
Sorry.
6.
I just really, the grill is hideous, or the lack thereof, which again, I know it doesn't need a grill, but like visually it needs something that looks more like a grill than that. The plastic here, I don't love. I don't mind the side, I don't mind the back, but it's just not my favorite overall looking vehicle. But you and I are not ones like, are you telling them like you might buy this car?
Well, I
Have
mean,
you
if
told them
I
that?
wasn't, yes.
You're interested in that.
I am gonna say that.
So like
it's part of the video.
the lack of the look is not the lack of the look. The lack of good looks. I mean, I married you, so obviously looks are not everything. But for real, looks like clearly like it doesn't look so bad that we wouldn't buy it.
No,
like it's
no,
not
no.
hideous. It's it's
Well,
not
in
like
a weird way. It's how you feel about the Ionics.
I was gonna say it's not like the Ionic, but
'Cause
the Ionic
you-
is worse to me.
You love the way the Ionics drive.
Yes,
but
and
you
I love
hate-
the way the interior looks, but the exterior is
Yeah, but you hate the
a
look.
little lacking. But the interior is better than the exterior. I'm gonna go like a 7.5.
Okay.
Because it's very comfortable, it's functional, it's got all the things. It has a few things I dislike about it, but again, nothing that like offends me except maybe the dash, the carpeted dash or whatever. I don't like that. But again, if you wanted to get this car, I'd be like, sure, fine. I wouldn't be like embarrassed to ride with you in it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a plus.
So, yeah, nothing offensive. Cargo space wise,
Well, yeah.
very spacious.
Yeah, it
The
is
front
pretty
seat's
good.
very spacious. The back seat's very spacious. The cargo is, you said, pretty good, 30 something cubic feet.
Yeah.
So pretty good. The way it drives, I would give it like an 8.5 maybe
Yeah.
out of 10. I liked it. It's very smooth. It's a little floaty for me, so that's why we're going like an 8.5. It's a little floaty, but I do like the regen braking. I feel like that's like very. It's not too jerky. It's not too much like some cars. The
Yeah.
regen is like this.
What's that like?
Like so I don't feel like that. So yeah, overall, I'm gonna give it
What
like
about value?
value. Oh, how
'Cause we
much?
have to
Okay,
give
but
it-
you said this is like 54.
We have to give it 2 scores.
Well, 54, if you buy it like right out of the gate at
MSRP
54,
is 54.
that's a bit much to me. I mean, it is an EV. You pay more for an EV. I don't know. Well, I'll go like a,
But the range and recharge speed
but the
are
range is
terrible.
not great. The recharge speed, I'll go like 7.5 or a 7.
But as a used car.
But as a used car, because you can find these used for very good deals. So as a used car, that value, that
You were
the
distracted
value,
by the person
I
with
was. I was
terrible
like,
truck who drove by right when you're summarizing.
the value goes up. I mean, like an 8.5 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I
Yeah.
mean, it's pretty impressive what you
It's
can
a
get.
lot of value.
Yeah,
For,
it's a lot of car for your money. It's a lot of EV for your money. It's a lot of saving the environment and the whales for your money. No?
we just lost some of the audience. They're like, we don't care. I drive a truck.
So, I mean, I drive a big Suburban, so
Yeah.
clearly I'm not, but I do appreciate an EV. Overall, I'm gonna go like a 7.5. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, that's my overall thing. So 7.5, I do think it's worth taking a look at if you're interested in an EV. Now, if you want to like be able to go on cross country trips, I mean,
Yeah.
no EV at that point really is what you're looking for, but certainly not this one. But it is good if you've got like if you have like a local commute or that kind of thing. Check it out. And thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, whatever that means, if it's still a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, and check out my other channel.
And check out Jack's other channel, Wolf Pen.
Yeah.
Wolf, P-E-N, Wolf Pen. And support him so that he doesn't have to go back to teaching.
Yeah, we
Thank
like
you.
that.
Thank you. Thank you for watching.
Please.